All right, we know we got a good coach, and the Lions being 6-2 is part of the proof of that. But I think too, it's when you hear players talking about their coaches, and when you hear them going above and beyond. I mean, there's standard player speak, which is, oh yeah, he puts me in a good position to have success. Coaches did a great job. And then there's the going above and beyond in separate interviews and stuff like that. And Dan Campbell is yet again getting great praise from another Detroit Lion, and it makes sense that it would be at his old position. So we're going to talk about that. But first, couple things for you. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff if you haven't already. Leave a comment on who you think is the biggest breakout star on this team halfway through the season. But I would love to hear those comments. But also, we're on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. So feel free, go look up us, Sports Talk Detroit. We're on Twitter. Go check it out. So let's talk about who this player is and crediting them. Lions tight end Sam Laporta. So I'm going to talk to you about exactly what he said. But before I talk to you exactly about what he said, I want to just give you some statistics here. Sam Laporta is number 4 amongst all tight ends in receptions. The 3 tight ends who are above him are TJ Hockenson, Travis Kelce, and Evan Ingram. That's it. That's impressive. The people behind him, Mark Andrews, Cole Kmet, Dalton Kincaid. So, I mean, hey, I'm not feeling too bad about that. By the way, Kincaid has an extra game on him, still has 3 less receptions. He's number 4 in overall targets. What about yards? All right, number 5. The only 4 tight ends above him in overall yards: Kelce, Hockenson, Andrews, Kittle. The top 4 tight ends you would take in fantasy football. That is, I mean, he has proven himself to be a top 5 tight end, period. All right. Even when you look at fantasy points per game, he's number 3. Not that any of that matters for real football. Okay. When you go over to PFF, the grades come out and show that as well. He has an overall grade of 72.7 with a receiving grade of 71.8. He has a run blocking grade of almost 64. I don't think TJ Hockenson ever had a run grade that high. I'm not saying it's a phenomenal run grade, but it's actually pretty good run grade. You see a lot of starting offensive linemen that don't have run grades that are that good. So let's get in a little bit to who he credits and how he credits this fast start too. So he went on Chris Long's podcast, The Green Light. Man, Chris Long has a lot of interviews on this thing. And here's what he said. I'm just going to highlight it for you. Usually I don't read this much, but let's go for it because I like hearing it. All right. The hands-on approach. Here's what he said. Dan helps me with all the details that go unnoticed by the average viewer, and they make all the difference when playing a position like tight end. Okay, I'm going to pause this just for a second. Tight end, I can make the argument, and when you look at success of rookie tight ends compared to any other position, tight end, it's almost as difficult to break out as a rookie tight end as it is a rookie quarterback. It is such a difficult position. You need to know everything. You need to have a firm understanding of the route tree for receiving. You need to have a firm understanding of zone versus man, when to settle, when to go. That's not easy, okay? That's the wide receiver job. You need to know the wide receiver. Now you need to have a firm understanding of all the blocking concepts. You need to understand both in pass block and, even more importantly, in run block. That's like the offensive lineman side of things. Then you need to keep going on that because you have to have the skills and the physical ability to actually do it. It is a very physical position. So as a rookie coming out, it's hard. You have to have good speed. You have to have good coordination and control, and you have to have good strength. It's not easy. You have to be able to do all the things. So that's why he says when playing a position like tight end, he said, Dan's great for me. There's several things in terms of technique with first steps, hand placement, all that sort of stuff. You see the tight ends in Ben Johnson's offense specifically running around all the time. We motion for indicators and stuff. I could go start out on my receiver stance. I don't get the point. I don't get the point from the center. So I motion into the box. I don't know who I'm blocking. I kind of have to read the defense on my own. Okay. Are you starting to see why it's confusing to play tight end? All right. He doesn't get the point from the center. So he motions into the box. He doesn't have a clue who's going to be blocking. He has to read the defense completely on his own. And by the way, what is the one position we were saying that Ben Johnson actually maybe doesn't target enough? It was tight end. It was tight end. It's absolutely crazy to think about this. And now all of a sudden you have Laporta, who's on pace for 80 in the 80s for catches. He's blocking like crazy, all while, by the way, for 2 or 3 weeks fighting against a calf injury, strain, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Like, this is insanity for me to be able to watch him do what he's doing. All right. So he has to read the defense on his own. Let's see what he continues talking about. So when I get Dan to help with stuff like that, hey, you motion into the box, you see it safety, you see it shell coverage, you automatically know the point is going to be the front side backer because it's nickel. It's like, man, that makes a lot of sense. I guess I don't need to worry about that. Stuff like that goes so far with my development and understand the game at this level. Okay. So what is the difference? Okay. Because it's just like, all right, well, understanding that it's shell coverage and it's nickel and who he has to block doesn't help him have 43 catches for over 400 yards. I know. And 4 touchdowns. I know it doesn't. But when you're comfortable understanding the coverage, whether it's blocking, whether it's in a passing route, it doesn't matter. If you are comfortable and it's simple to you, then all of a sudden you are more fluid. Then all of a sudden the game slows down more because the NFL is not like college. In college, teams are generally more zone or more man coverage on defense. In the NFL, I mean, like you could in college guess, all right, they're probably in man and be right 75% of the time, or they're probably in zone. You're probably right 80 or 90% of the time. In the NFL, they disguise it so much better. You actually need to know what's going on. So if you know what's going on, it allows you to play fast. It allows you to be in a place where your quarterback knows you should be. And Jared Goff has proven that he absolutely trusts Sam Laporta as a safety blanket. It almost goes St. Brown, Laporta. That's what we're looking at here. So it has been fun to watch the progression. And Dan Campbell, once again, showing why he is a good coach, not just a good motivator, not just a kneecap guy, not just a meathead guy. Get that crap out of here. He's a smart, good coach that impacts his players immediately. All right. Thanks so much for watching. Hey, like, subscribe, leave a comment. What are you thinking? And we'll see you on the next one. Follow us on Twitter.